Hi, this is Dr. Amba, and it's day one of Overwhelm, transforming overwhelm into inner peace. And this is just an overview of the foundations of medical qigong. And we are going to just show you where your organs are, in case you don't know. And if we're saying this is your heart and this is your left side, this is your spleen area. This is your liver on the right side. And the kidneys, although they're in the back, we say, all the way around here, this is water down here, the water element, right? And then lungs here. So lungs, metal, heart is fire. The left side spleen is earth. And the right side is liver, which is the fire element, and the kidneys, the water, which are here, but I'm just saying here. So we have in order most of the time. I will have the order that we are starting with the kidneys. Excuse me, we're starting with the uh, earth element, right? So earth element, spleen, stomach, and I'm in a sunny office today, so it's really warm. Uh, and earth element in spleen is worry, overthinking, related. That's some of the acquired emotions. And you're born with the virtues of trust, openness, sincerity. And then we go to the lungs. That is the child of the mother. So earth brings metal. So the lungs related to uh, sadness, grief, shame, guilt, but you're born with courage, integrity, dignity. So all of these organs, there are acquired emotions that we're not born with, the uncomfortable emotions, and these are just some of them. And then there are virtues we're born with. So what did I say? This is important to remember for the rest of your practices with medical qigong therapy or doing your own practices on your own with the tools, the prescription meditations, the prescription exercises. And I didn't say, if you don't know me already, I'm Dr. Amba Tobin of Sit Wellness, and it's Sit and Meditate, not Medicate, or Sunrise Integrative Therapies. And all of sunrise has to do with the colors in nature, right? And sunsets and rainbows. And those colors also relate to the organs. But I'm not going to go into them right now, but everything has to do with nature and how the phases of nature and how things move into another phase and how things nurture each other and balance in harmony or in disharmony relates to the organs and to their emotions and to the virtues we are born with. So, spleen, left side body, um, trust, openness, sincerity. We're born with acquired emotions, worry, overthinking, lungs, sadness, grief, shame, or guilt, metal element. And the thing we're born with is courage, integrity, dignity. Then the kidneys, the water element, which is fear and loneliness when it's out of balance and it happens. We have things happen in our life, and self confidence, and strength and wisdom. And it's wisdom of your ancestors as well. Now, there is also the liver, the wood element, my favorite, and it's springtime as I record this, 4/23, 2025. And spring relates to the liver. Now, all of these relate to a season as well. And spleen, late summer. I say it's between every season, but it has a specific season, which is called late summer. So we have 5 seasons in Chinese medicine. The last one, again, is the heart. Sometimes I start with the heart, but most of the time I start with earth because I love to end with the heart, which is joy, tranquility, order. That is what we were born with in the heart, the fire element. Now, anxiety, nervousness, expectations not met. And sometimes when it gets to beyond sadness and grief, or if there's imbalances in our mental health, or we have situations that bring us to despair or depression, that relates to the heart. So depression, despair, heart, sadness, grief, lungs. Okay, that's a distinction I would love you to remember. With all of these, we're transmuting or transforming the energy. So, law of physics is you cannot get rid of any energy. You can only change it into something else, transform it. That's alchemy. Or you can move it somewhere else, but it's still there, right? So, a lot of people talk about releasing things. I think that if you're releasing, you really want to intentionally, and I always say intention, attention, imagination, sensation for medical qigong and manifesting and so much more. Intention with releasing is we always want to have a place where we're releasing it to. If we're working with me, we do sword fingers and a clockwise circle into the earth. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It gets recycled into that vortex, these uncomfortable emotions. When we do sound or visualize a gray smoke, taking the uncomfortable emotions into the earth, transmuting it, transforming it into fertilizer for our growth by the earth. Okay, so that's one way, which I do often. However, this particular class, we're not doing it that way. Release to your higher power, release to God, source, divine, however you call your personal spiritual beliefs. Release to your guardian angels, your ancestors to take it and they do something with it, okay? But releasing in a sense of just, I'm releasing these heavy emotions. Great. Tapping is great. However, really put the intention, it's released to somewhere, or you're doing something when you release it, because energy is going to go and then it's going to hang around. We don't want it to, ideally, we decide that we desire that energy not to remain anywhere around us when it's uncomfortable or toxic. That said, sometimes when people say toxic, it gives people the energy of something bad. Uncomfortable sometimes is telling us something, and it is a sacred part of us. So if we honor our uncomfortable emotions when we're doing these practices, we always see ourselves as sacred and divine. And that is a part of medical Qigong, as well as the spiritual aspect. You know, we say you have a physical body, an energy body, and a spirit body. You have more, but we're focusing on those with medical Qigong when I work with clients. And each of those three bodies affect the other two. Spiritual imbalances affect the physical and the emotional. Emotional imbalances affect the physical and the spiritual. So, and physical, eating bad food is going to affect, and not exercising is going to affect your emotional and spiritual. Okay, so all three bodies affect the other two. Now, I'm going to focus today. I think I can't remember what I said. I believe I did say the first one was worry and overthinking for today, which I usually start with Earth. So we're going to imagine we're on a mountaintop. If you can use your mind's eye to visualize you're on a mountain and it's sunrise and there's this beautiful gold light from the sun just on your face warming you, and you're on this mountaintop and you can imagine your shoes are off and you're sitting maybe on a log or some comfortable place and your feet are on the earth. And if you are able to be outside on the earth, great, and put the soles of your feet on the earth. And we're just going to imagine that that gold light is coming in to the left side body and spleen. And we're going to inhale trust, openness, sincerity. And your lips are going to stay closed, and exhale and absorb trust, openness, sincerity into the left side body and spleen. Everything related to the spleen organ in Chinese medicine and in Western medicine and in all faiths and practices of healing, the earth element, the spleen and stomach. Inhale again, the gold light, that earth energy. Trust that everything's going to be okay. Openness to the lessons and sincerity. Sincerity on your path in life. And your lips closed. Exhale, absorb into the left side spleen. One more time. Inhale, gold light from the sun and that core of the earth, that fire coming through the earth and that earth element, filling the left side body with Trust, openness, sincerity. Lips closed, exhale, absorb. Trust, openness, sincerity. And just feeling that sense, recharged feeling of what's already there, of trust, openness, and sincerity. Just feel that saturation of your whole body, really, your whole being. And wherever in your life you can think about where you have worry or where you have been overthinking. It's like you to think of one or two things and just hold them in front of you in your mind's eye. And we're going to transmute that right now. We're going to transform that worry. We're going to imagine that worry in front of us like a gray smoke that has come from the left side body. This deep breath in and exhale a gray smoke that leaves the left side body. See that gray smoke coming in front of you, and it collects and makes kind of a gray rock. And that gray rock is what your worries or overthinking about. Maybe you thought of one or two things. One more time, inhale. And exhale, a gray smoke leaves the left side body and goes in. This gray smoke fills this dark kind of gray stone. One more time, inhale. Exhale, the gray smoke lets go of any worry or overthinking going into this rock. So you can see it's sort of hardened, but you see little gold strands in this rock. Imagine in your mind's eye, there are gold strands in this rock in front of you. The darkness is the worry, but the gold in there is the wisdom that you know you have around everything in your life and that you trust that everything is going to be okay. And you know that you are open to lessons and learning and evolving. And that you are a sincere person wanting, cancel, desiring to have more peace in your life. So, with that gold visualization, I want you to imagine the gold coming out of that dark rock, and that gold is going back into the left side and the spleen. And you're taking the wisdom from that, what you used to worry about, and may worry about less because you're trusting that everything is going to be okay. And you're open and you're sincere. And that gold goes back into the left side spleen. Just wiggle your toes and fingers and just see that rock right there in front of you has disappeared because you transformed it, you transmuted it by taking the gold out, the wisdom and that earth element of trust from it. So this is just one tiny medical qigong exercise using your mind. What is medical qigong? It's using a discipline with energy, a practice. So yoga is a discipline, anything where you focus your attention and really do something with a discipline, that is really qigong. Tai Chi is a form of Qigong in exercises and meditations. We say medical Qigong therapy is a healing art, but there's Qigong exercises and meditations, and there's Qigong on the spiritual side. So there's different kinds of Qigong or disciplines, energy disciplines and focuses. This is a prescription meditation that we do to help us ground and remind us specifically in the element of earth to trust that everything's going to be okay. And I also remind you, hold your thumbs and let them hang. That is related to the earth element, the mudra. And remember, if you have any questions, I'll take them now. So someone asked me to repeat all of the organs. So earth is spleen, and that is worry, overthinking, and the virtues you're born with: trust, openness, sincerity. Kidneys, excuse me, in order, lungs is metal element, and that is sadness, grief, shame, or guilt, acquired emotions. But you're born with the virtues of courage, integrity, dignity, and then the kidneys, the water element, self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom you're born with. And then the uncomfortable emotions, the acquired emotions, are fear and loneliness. And this is sort of our battery belt, I always say. So it's a unique organ of the 5 yin organs, or solid organs. So I will talk about that more on Kidney Day, which I believe is the third day. We're here on the 23rd, 24th, 25th. So I think that would be the 25th on Friday. And then we have on next week on Monday and Wednesday, the 28th and 30th. So after kidneys is Monday, liver, which is wood element, and that is anger, frustration, and patience. Yet you're born with compassion, kindness, and patience, and heart, joy, tranquility, and order, and acquired emotions, anxiety, nervousness, expectations not met. And using all of these as a tool in different ways, there are so many ways you can help heal the body and the mind. If you have mental health issues, physical issues, relationship issues, manifesting issues, I I have done a lot of manifesting, and it is a powerful thing. And I'm pretty careful about who I teach that to nowadays, um, because you really do get what you ask for in in the way that we do it, and you have to be very careful. So anyway, we will talk about that the next time. Thank you for your questions um, and sharing. And this is a safe space. Only I am recorded. Anything you share here, it stays here. Okay. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.